In this video, we will talk about the Cold War era, tensions and alliances. So make sure to watch the full video. The Cold War, a multifaceted ideological, political, and military confrontation between the United States and the Soviet Union, defined much of the 20th century. Emerging from the aftermath of World War II, it shaped global affairs, pitting capitalism against communism, democracy against totalitarianism. Characterized by a relentless arms race, proxy conflicts, and a constant fear of nuclear annihilation. The Cold War left an indelible mark on the geopolitical landscape, influencing alliances, ideologies, and the course of international relations. This era of tension and rivalry, marked by periods of détente and brinkmanship, continues to resonate in contemporary politics and shapes our understanding of global power dynamics. 1. Origins of the Cold War. Born from the ashes of World War II, the Cold War emerged as a complex interplay of ideological fervor, geopolitical ambitions, and historical animosities between the United States and the Soviet Union. With divergent visions for the post-war world order and competing spheres of influence, the stage was set for a protracted struggle marked by ideological confrontation, military brinkmanship, and a relentless global competition for supremacy. This epochal conflict not only shaped the course of international relations for generations to come but also left an indelible imprint on the political, economic, and cultural landscape of the modern world. 2. Nuclear arms race. The Cold War bore witness to an unprecedented escalation in the pursuit of nuclear superiority as the United States and the Soviet Union engaged in a harrowing arms race that transformed the very fabric of global security. The development and deployment of increasingly destructive atomic weapons not only heightened tensions to unprecedented levels, but also fundamentally altered the calculus of international relations, perpetuating a fragile balance of power fraught with the constant specter of mutual annihilation and global catastrophe. This nuclear arms race cast a long shadow over the collective psyche of humanity, shaping the discourse on peace, security, and the survival of the planet. 3. Space race. Against the backdrop of Cold War tensions, the space race unfolded as a captivating saga of scientific innovation, political ambition, and ideological competition between the United States and the Soviet Union. Driven by the desire to showcase technological prowess and assert ideological dominance, landmark achievements such as the Soviet launch of Sputnik and the iconic U.S. moon landing served as symbolic milestones in the quest for cosmic supremacy and global prestige. This epochal race to the stars not only captivated the imagination of the world, but also transformed the trajectory of human exploration and scientific discovery. 4. Containment doctrine. In response to Soviet expansionism, the containment doctrine emerged as the cornerstone of America's strategy for halting the spread of communism and countering Soviet influence on the global stage. Through a combination of military alliances, economic aid, and diplomatic maneuvering, the United States sought to encircle and contain Soviet ambitions, shaping the trajectory of U.S. foreign policy and international affairs for decades to come. This doctrine not only defined the contours of the Cold War but also left an enduring legacy that continues to shape the dynamics of global politics in the contemporary era. 5. Proxy wars. The Cold War played out on the battlegrounds of proxy conflicts across the globe, from the jungles of Southeast Asia to the mountains of Afghanistan and beyond. Fueled by ideological fervor and superpower patronage, these conflicts exacted a heavy toll on human lives and resources, serving as flashpoints in the broader struggle for global supremacy and leaving an indelible mark on the course of modern history. From the Korean War to the Vietnam War, these proxy wars reshaped the geopolitical landscape of the post-war world and left a legacy of conflict, instability, and human suffering that continues to reverberate to this day. 6. Détente period. Amidst the perpetual threat of nuclear annihilation, fleeting moments of détente offered glimpses of hope for thawing Cold War tensions. Marked by diplomatic overtures, arms control negotiations, and limited cooperation between the superpowers, these periods of relative calm provided brief respites from the specter of mutual destruction, albeit against the backdrop of enduring ideological and strategic competition. From the Helsinki Accords to the Strategic Arms Limitation Talks, SALT, these diplomatic initiatives laid the groundwork for a more stable and secure world order and paved the way for the eventual end of the Cold War. 7. Berlin Wall. The construction of the Berlin Wall in 1961 stands as a stark testament to the physical and ideological divisions of the Cold War era. Erected by East Germany to stem the tide of defections to the West, This imposing barrier became a potent symbol of oppression and separation, casting a long shadow over the divided city of Berlin and serving as a stark reminder of the enduring struggle between East and West. From its construction to its eventual fall in 1989, the Berlin Wall epitomized the stark realities of the Cold War and the profound human cost of division and conflict. 8. Cuban Missile Crisis. The Cuban Missile Crisis stands as a chilling reminder of the perilous brinkmanship of the Cold War and the grave dangers posed by the proliferation of nuclear weapons. Triggered by the discovery of Soviet missiles in Cuba, the crisis brought the world to the brink of nuclear war, as the United States and the Soviet Union engaged in a tense standoff that threatened to unleash cataclysmic destruction on a global scale. From the secret negotiations to the tense naval blockade, the Cuban Missile Crisis tested the limits of diplomacy and leadership and underscored the urgent need for arms control and conflict resolution in the nuclear age. 9. NATO versus Warsaw Pact. The Cold War was defined by the stark divide between military alliances, with NATO representing the Western Bloc led by the United States and the Warsaw Pact comprising the Eastern Bloc under Soviet hegemony. These alliances served as bulwarks against perceived aggression, perpetuating a climate of mutual suspicion and military escalation that shaped the contours of global security. From the Korean Peninsula to the plains of Central Europe, NATO and the Warsaw Pact stood as symbols of collective defense and deterrence, shaping the strategic calculus of the Cold War and influencing the course of international relations for decades to come. 10. Thaw in relations. In the waning years of the Cold War, a thaw in relations between the superpowers ushered in a new era of diplomatic engagement and strategic re-evaluation. Marked by initiatives such as arms reduction treaties, summit meetings, and cultural exchanges, this period of détente laid the groundwork for the eventual dissolution of ideological barriers and the dawn of a more interconnected and interdependent world order. From the Reykjavik summit to the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces INF treaty, these diplomatic breakthroughs offered glimpses of hope for a peaceful resolution to the Cold War and paved the way for the eventual end of the ideological divide that had defined the post-war world for over 4 decades. The Cold War stands as a pivotal chapter in human history, shaping the modern world and leaving a legacy that reverberates to this day. While the fall of the Berlin Wall and the dissolution of the Soviet Union marked the end of this era of superpower rivalry, its impact continues to be felt in global politics, security arrangements, and cultural discourse. The lessons learned from the Cold War, about the dangers of ideological extremism, the importance of diplomacy, and the imperative of cooperation, are as relevant now as they were then. As we navigate the complexities of the 21st century, understanding the Cold War remains essential for charting a path towards peace, stability, and prosperity. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel before you go. Thank you for watching.